Eli,
Uh,
welcome to Tribesmen, brother.
Thank you. I'm honored to be part of the tribe and tribesmen.
So I'm going to tell everybody a funny story. I told you on kind of like the pre-interview. I was looking at the reels that my wife sends me. My wife and I, we send each other reels on what we want each other to learn, and then we talk about it. It's kind of like our educational system in our marriage at the moment. And she asked me a couple of days ago, she's like, "Hey, did you watch the reels I sent you?" And I was like, "No, let me open up my phone." And so I started watching it, and one of them was of you. And it was a video of you doing, sexy shirtless pull-ups. And you were talking about the 5 things that men need to do to level up their lives. And it was hit the gym, wrap tefillin, wear a Magen David, stop watching porn, and find purpose. And I found
Totally.
it incredibly amazing that she had no idea that you were booked and scheduled to
So
talk on the
funny.
podcast.
And that was last night, right? It was like
Yeah,
literally today. Yeah.
it
So
was
funny.
it was incredible,
So
incredible.
funny.
So meant to be, brother. Meant
Yeah.
to be,
And you
right?
two are clearly Basheret. So
Yeah, no, she's amazing human being. She pushes me out of my comfort zone. She calls me out when I need to be called out.
I love that.
Uh, Beautiful mom, wife, very smart. And she's also taught me how to have boundaries, which I never had before,
Mm,
which I think for me
I'm working
was
on that.
the best. I'm a recovering people pleaser.
Uh,
Um,
I'm working on recovering. I'm still an addict.
Yeah, so great book. Just I've mentioned this before. He was actually on the podcast, No More Mr. Nice Guy by Dr. Robert Glover.
I have to write that
He
down.
he was so good, Eli, that I hired him as my coach for 6 months. Changed my life.
Wow.
Like I read the book,
Wow.
and I think he wrote it for like Jewish men. Like it's all about like your mom raised you and Jewish milk and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But we'll keep talking. Welcome to the
For
show.
sure. Thank you.
First of all, I want to thank you for your service, Special
My
Forces and
honor.
the goes. Trained combat soldiers, went back to fight in Gaza twice. So just from the bottom of my heart, thank you for putting your life on the line for
My
the Jewish
honor.
community worldwide.
My honor. Thank you. Yeah,
Comments.
literally the biggest honor of my life to have served, be able to serve, to continue to serve. Um, Literally the biggest honor I could ask for.
Yeah, it takes big balls. Like I think, were you born in Israel?
No, I was born like a total LA Valley kid.
So you were kind of like a
Born and
lone
raised
soldier, went back to serve?
100% lone soldier. Yeah. My mom's Israeli. My
Okay.
dad's American from Boston. I grew up in LA, born, raised, high school, everything. Went to college, and then in 2014, the first Gaza war broke out, Suketan, Operation Protective Edge, and that lit the fire in me that I wasn't. It was so clear how important Israel was to me and how important Judaism was to me. I figured my grandpa, who's a Holocaust survivor, if he went through everything he did in those 3, 4 years, if I can commit 3, 4 years of my life to make sure that what happened to him and the Jewish people never happens again, and I can play my small part in that, then even if I do nothing for the rest of my life, I'll know I did something good in this world.
Amazing. And shout out to the lone soldiers, my nephew Niso, who is back on, what did you call
Shout
it?
out Niso.
He's
Miyuchedet.
He's got like a
Yeah.
30-day break.
Yeah.
He went to
It's
Israel for Akshara for a year, which we do here, and he just told his parents, he's like, "I'm staying. I want to protect Israel." And
what a legend.
yeah,
What a legend.
he
Shout
came
out
back.
Niso.
He left a boy, came back a man. Seriously.
Hell yeah. Dude, that's what it does to you. It fully does that to you. I mean, I have another friend's younger brother who totally left the States, went to the army as a boy, 18 years old, right out of high school. And then I saw him a few months ago this summer, and I've known him since he was a kid. And I looked at him, I was like, dude, this guy's a man now.
Yeah,
This dude, the army did it for
yeah.
sure. It's a man-making machine.
You talked about that in the pre-interview. You talked about how when you would train these soldiers, that you turned them into these machines of discipline, of fighting, of
Totally,
mindset.
totally.
What does it take to get there? Like, what does that mean? Like, we talk about, I've heard like Jocko Willing talk about how that's what the Navy SEALs did to him. What
Yeah.
happens in the IDF that somebody becomes so disciplined, so fit in mind, body, and soul to be able to do what you guys do?
Yeah. So fit, you're working. you're on your feet. You're even if you're not doing an actual workout, which you work out, an hour a day, even if you're not doing that, you're always using your body. Whether you're going, setting up, you're at the gun range, you've got your 30, 40 pound vest on and you're walking throughout the mountains, you're always using your body physically, so it's naturally just developing. Even at the very beginning stages of Tironut, basic training, you're always on your feet, you're running back and forth, do little tasks. And what I think is beautiful, and a lot of people hate Tironut for that, but I think it's beautiful, and you see it in the US military, is the obsession with getting the small things right perfectly and together as a team. And you have that community vibe in a team vibe, and you have a shared purpose with everyone who's on your team. You didn't choose them, but you all have the same purpose, and it's to defend Israel. And in order to do that, you have to grow together, and you're literally breaking them down from the beginning, and they're giving you micro tasks like go and pack your bag. But each one is, okay, you're going to go open your bag, then you're going to go do this, go do that, go put the socks in, and each time, if you don't if you don't come back in time, and it doesn't mean, you can have everyone on the team except for one guy show up 2 seconds late, a second late, half a second late. Everyone's got their stopwatch, everyone has to stop it. If I see on someone's watch that it was, they had a minute to do it and it was 1 minute 0.02, you are going to do what's called shne, which means again, which means they have to all go up, undo everything they did, come back down, wait, and then go do it again. So it's the obsession with doing everything right. And at the same time, it's not cutting corners and working together and helping each other out. And you have this brotherhood that gets developed because you're all getting punished or rewarded together. And in the battlefield, a lot of things we do, even in Gaza, and they told this to us in basic training, but even in Gaza, you're going to be doing the same things so many times that it eventually feels easy and second nature, even though in the reality, you're in a freaking war zone. You are on guard duty and you're there for 2 hours and it's been 4 or 5 days and nobody has passed by except for a couple of dogs. So you're like, oh, let me, get distracted a little bit because nothing's going to happen. And that's when something happens. So you can't cut any corners in Gaza, even if you want to let your guard down. And that all starts from the discipline that is built in basic training, that even the littlest things, how clean is the door handle? Did you show up exactly on time?
Mm.
That's where it's built. And if you're a little bit off there and you're not saying that this stupid little task doesn't matter, you're going to say it in Gaza as well. And you would always think in the art and in basic training, no, when I'm in Gaza at war, I'm obviously not going to do that. It's war. But the fact of the matter is, that's just the case. That's the way the human mind ends up working. And you can be I like to say, and I told my soldiers all the time, motivation is absolute bullshit and doesn't matter. You can be as motivated as you want to be a special forces soldier. Once it gets hard, motivation evaporates really fast.
Mm.
Discipline is what we want to see from people and what we want to build. And if you can be disciplined and you have this codependent on each other and you have a high sense of purpose and you have a really big why, then it's much easier to be disciplined. And that's where you build yourself over time.
Now let's talk about that discipline because I think for me, it's something that I essentially struggle with, right? To be so disciplined, I've always said somebody goes to the army, they're broken down, they're built back up into a machine. I work out, I eat healthy, but I don't wake up at the same time, don't go to sleep at the same time. And some discipline is very, very uh, regimented, essentially. But this month in my leadership group, we have what's called Discipline December, and everybody chose
Mm.
one thing to
Oh, I
do:
love that.
drink more water, wake up early, don't touch the phone for 30 minutes,
Hmm.
study 30 minutes a day, whatever that is. And when you're doing it in a group, it helps because everyone's checking up on everybody. There's accountability. With the guys listening who don't have this group, who don't have this platoon, this army-like brotherhood, how do you keep this? You're not, you're in LA right now.
Hmm.
How do you keep that discipline going so that you can finish what you're doing, feel successful? and not have that stress on your shoulders that things aren't done correctly.
Yeah, I think a couple of good things. One, discipline, A is very hard to build. So you build it over time. So discipline, December is great. Get one thing, nail that thing, right? Don't throw on 20 new habits that you want and be like, how did I not stand by them? And it's a common thing, right? January 1st is around the corner. Everyone's going to have a million new things they want to do, and they're going to fail at 99% of them by March at best.
Yeah.
So choose a couple things, slowly build it out, and really connect a reason to it. Don't just do it for no reason. If you think it's genuinely going to make you a better person and it's something you really want to do, have that the reason why. So when you're saying, I'm tired or I don't feel like it, it's not, for example, let me take an example of tefillin. It's not, oh, do I wrap tefillin or not? Ah, it's just tefillin, whatever. And I'm not super religious, right? For me, tefillin is a way to remember that every action and I take, I want it to start from my heart because that's where the box goes first.
Mhm.
I want it to then be processed by my head because that's the second box. And I want to think about it rationally. And after I've connected my heart and my head together with this action, then I'm going to wrap it around my hand. And then I say the Shema because I want to remember that God is above me and I have this kind of higher connection and feel this surrender. Take those two, and I don't, do 20-minute whole mincha or whatever. It's just not me.
Yeah.
I do those two, takes 5 minutes, take it off. Really easy, start simple. And for me, the connection is I want my actions throughout the day to have those two connected because I know I'm going to be a better person if I remember that every day. And if I did tefillin and I forgot to make that mental connection of those three, then for me, there was no purpose in it. And
Right.
that's the importance. So connect whatever little action and habit you want to do with a higher purpose and how it's going to make you better. And then you have a better chance of actually carrying it out.
So
And
that,
with, yeah, go on.
no, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, and with the army, it's the same thing. You also have this higher purpose in every little thing you're doing because you want to get it done right. And two, you want to feel that you want to be part of the team and to be and thrive and look good in the team, you need to do that. So having a sense of brotherhood and community and you're all in it together helps. And when you're here in normal life, it's obviously much harder. So having men's groups and men's leadership chapters and teams, that helps a lot. Having your wife, having your kids, having someone do it. I think another, I don't have kids right now, but when I do have kids, I want them to see their dad wrapping tefillin every day and connecting that with Judaism. So as a man, if you want to create this habit of wrapping tefillin, but you can't convince it, do it every morning when your kid's having breakfast.
Mm.
And then he's going to see that his dad is wrapping tefillin, or maybe right before he goes to school, or right before he's going to come down. Do it so he makes this connection of like, wow, my dad is doing this every day. And kudos to my dad. He wraps tefillin every day. There was a short portion he didn't, but one of the reasons I wrap is I look at it and I'm like, wow, Jewish men wrap tefillin.
Yeah. So that's number two on the reel that my wife sent me. Let's go
Yeah,
back to number one. Right. I
for
want to go
sure.
down this list and then I want to get to the mindset and the mental health, which is extremely important to keep all these going. Um, Hitting the gym, number one.
Yeah,
I think that a lot of Jewish men starting to get healthy as I see, but we're more talked about, just be a good person, be a
yeah,
mensch. That's what matters.
yeah.
Why is hitting the gym so important?
One, it builds discipline, right? I think it's going to build confidence in any man. If you're fit and looking good, you're going to feel better. But three, and it's more of a newer thing, and I genuinely believe this, there's so much anti-Semitism going around. There are random attacks. You want to be ready to defend yourself or whoever is around you. And there is a smaller chance that someone's going to attack you if you look in shape. The people
Mm,
who attack, they're going after the vulnerable. If you are strong and you're stable and you're in shape, you're going to be able to protect whoever's around you, and no one's going to want to come and mess in our area. And I think it's so important for the Jewish men to do that because there are IDF soldiers in Israel fighting for us. But in San Diego or Los Angeles, there's no IDF soldiers there defending you all the time. We, as Jewish men, have to stand up and defend ourselves and defend our people throughout the world. And that's why it's really important.
yeah, one of the concepts of tribesmen is for us to become, the warriors that we were back in the days, back in the Torah. And in Israel we have that, and here we don't, like you said. We don't see that as much.
Yeah,
And so it's time that Jewish men do get healthy, do get fit so we can protect ourselves.
totally.
I know when October 7th happened, San Diego had a big boom of Jews learning how to shoot.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And a fourth one is a fourth one that is actually number one, in my opinion. I forgot to mention it. Is, and it's connected to kashrut, but in my own different way, where I know rabbis encourage eating kosher, because the body is a vessel of God, right? He brought it here for us to do good in the world, and it's a vessel
Mm.
of God. And the way that, they see kosher as keeping the body pure, I see it as just important and personally more important. It's hitting the gym, it's eating well. You want to be a vessel of God. You want your body, and I want to return my body to God, being fucking lean and crisp and perfect. I don't want to be this fat slob. It shows disrespect to yourself, disrespect to God, disrespect to everything. And I'm, my body's a temple.
Yeah.
Call it like a douchebag thing to say, but my body's a temple. I want to treat it cleanly.
I love that. Love it. We talked about number two, which is wrap tefillin, which is beautiful. I do it almost every morning. I try. I'm not perfect, but what I do for
Totally.
my discipline is I drop off my girls at the Hebrew Day School here, and I just walk into the synagogue that they have there. Because I know that if I'm going to
I
go
love
home
that.
or
Love
I'm going to
that.
go to the office, I'm going to
Yep.
get emails and it's done.
Yep.
So I
I
just
love that.
drop off my kids, walk in, 30 minutes, rock and roll.
And
You know?
also like people recognizing that none of us are perfect. So if you miss a day, don't get it down on yourself, whether it's in the
Yeah.
gym or eating or rubbing to fill in. If you miss a day, don't let it be 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
I always say missing a day happens. Always jump on it that other day because that's when you start really going down.
Love it. Number three, where am Magen David? Tell us why. I've got mine right here.
Yeah. And oh yeah. Okay, all right. Let me bring it out. I think it's
Well, both do that.
yeah, right. And I like to I every now and then I notice that it's under my shirt or whatever. It's a necklace, it falls down, or you put your
Yeah.
shirt and you forget. But I like having it out because I think the Magen David is the modern day non-religious kippah. A
Mm.
kippah feels to me a little bit more associated with I'm a religious Jew. I, keep Shabbat, all that kind of stuff. And it doesn't have to, but that's just the way I see it personally. A Magen David is I'm a Jew and I'm proud and I'm a Zionist too, because it's very connected to Israel. And in this day and age, we have to be proud Jews. We have to be loud Jews. If they, meaning the anti-Israel, the anti-Semites, if they have succeeded in making people scared to wear a Magen David or to show their Judaism or to show their Israel pride, that is a huge victory for them and a huge loss for us because we have to be proud of who we are every single day and show it in people's faces. And if you're thriving in whatever you do, as a lawyer, as a doctor, as whatever, and you show your Magen David and people associate this is a great person, and he happens to be Jewish, that's the best thing you can do for Jews
Mm.
around the world.
Love that. Yep. When I bought mine, I usually wear all black. Today I'm not, but mine, I took a while to find a black one. But I agree with
You,
you.
you
Also,
went you went you went army green for me. I'm
I went,
army.
exactly. I went IDF green.
And I went all black.
But the next one, which is super interesting, which is the topic of my first podcast episode here on Tribesmen, which is stop watching porn. And I just had one of my mentors. He did a Facebook Live about this, about how his whole marriage changed when he stopped watching porn. Why did you put that in the reel? What made it top five for you?
Yeah, I think that it's about having a clean and pure mind. And I also think that look, I'm not married, but I think, in previous relationships when I didn't watch porn, porn isn't real. You know, it's not how sex is usually. It's completely different. So it completely contorts our mind on how a relationship or how sex or how the bedroom should be. And one of the most important and sacred places in the world is where you're going to be with your partner or your wife in the bedroom. So making sure that that's clean and pure and accurate and how it should be, and really just something for you too, I think is very important. There's levels of like, depending on every relationship, they could call it infidelity or not watching porn. I don't have to get into that part. But I think more for the man's sake, keeping your mind pure is super important. And it's, in my opinion, way harder than quitting alcohol.
Yeah, 100%. I've dealt with it for a long time, especially because when we're growing up, sometimes it's seen as normal. Like i- in the Mexican Jewish community, which I'm not Mexican, but I grew up in,
Yeah.
I remember growing up and people would ask like, "Hey, did you go to a hooker yet?" Or just like some wild
Mm.
stuff. And so it
Yeah,
was very widely accepted
totally.
as being okay. And I get
Yeah,
exactly what you're talking
and
about.
I think there's a lot of things in society that, especially also in Jewish society, that there's a lot we have really right and a lot we have really wrong, and I know that as well. Like on my bar mitzvah, my uncles and they're originally like Tunisian, so it's this Sephardic Tunisian tradition, I guess. But they went to my mom and were like, "We're taking him to a prostitute." They're like literally on my bar mitzvah, and she's like, "No, you're fucking not taking my son to a prostitute when he's 13 years old. You're out of your goddamn mind." And she won in the end. It was like, "Hey, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna get him drunk and take him to a prostitute." She's like, "Or you can choose one of them," and she's like, "Fine, get him drunk."
Yeah,
But another big thing I see with porn is it's this lust for more. It's this lust for something different. And you want to have an ambition for more, but you don't want this lusting of something that's not real
yeah.
and that's not, right, in my opinion. And I think it's just a metaphor for that. So contracting that in and making that part of your life, I think is super important.
Love that, man. It's insane. That's exactly what I was talking about. 13 years old bar mitzvah in Mexico. They're like, yeah, we're gonna take him to a prostitute. You don't know your head from your ass. And you're like, let's go have sex with a 22-year-old beautiful
Yeah,
woman who, it's insanity to me.
yeah,
But going on to number five, bro, because I want to get to the mental health aspect, find the purpose. When you're coaching in your health coaching, do you see that a lot of people don't have that purpose, don't have the clarity in the purpose, and that's why they're not healthy in mind, body, and spirit?
yeah. I think in everything you do in life, connect it to purpose. If and it's gonna help you. It should honestly be number one, but it's almost too cliche. And I think people on an Instagram reel will just swipe through if they see purpose as number one. But um, when I almost died numerous times in Gaza, and it's particularly the first night, I went to bed and I thought, I have not been living a life that makes me fulfilled. I'm not happy in my life. I don't feel purposeful in anything I do except for helping people with their fitness. And I was doing this as a side hustle hobby for fun. I don't want, I almost died. I don't want to die like this again in the future. If this is a second chance at life. I want to change and I need to make sure I'm happy with my life and I need to not have these limiting beliefs. So I think and then the second I did that and kept doing things that felt right and aligned with me purpose, I was more successful in every single thing that I did because I put my entire heart into it. I put
Mhm.
my energy into it. I put my passion into it. And people throughout the world feed off of that. And they tell me that all the time. I think I'm not telling guys who, are in finance or lawyers or whatever, and maybe they don't like their jobs, but their whole family depends on them. I'm not trying to tell you to quit your job. It's not at all what I'm trying to do. But find a way to connect that to something with purpose and fulfillment. It could be that you're doing this to support your kids and family and all that. And that's where you're getting up, and that is a vehicle to do that. But everything you do, you're going to do with so much more fervor if you actually connect it. And in your specific job, right? Let's say you're a personal injury attorney, you're helping people who may not have a lot of money, who got screwed by the system, whatever it is, you're helping them. So maybe all the shitty stuff in the day to day in between, which every job in the world has, maybe that kills you on a day to day basis, but it's not, it's what's necessary for the end goal. And going back to Gaza again in the army, people think we're in Gaza and we're breaking down doors and killing terrorists every single day. That's just not the case. 99% of the time, it's pretty boring and mundane. 99.9% of the time, even. So you can easily let those little things down if you don't have this higher sense of purpose and connection. Even when it's saving the Jewish world and fighting and killing Hamas, which is up to here, the little boring and mundane can eat you up a little bit. So the more you connect yourself to purpose and find that true north, the more you're going to be aligned with it.
Now, you said that you almost died a couple of times, or you said I almost died twice.
Yeah.
in Gaza. Can you tell us a story quickly about like what does that mean? Is it you know, a shootout? Is it a bomb exploding? What does that happen?
Yeah, the first time was like in the main, you know, time that happened was literally 5 or 6 times in a row in one day. And we call it on our team, it's the worst day of all of our lives. It was called Chanukah Sameach, Happy Hanukkah, because it happened to be on Hanukkah. And we ended the day, we came back and we lit the Hanukkah candles all together and hugged and kissed each other that we were freaking alive. But, you know, it started by like 6 in the morning already. We walked into a room, opened the blanket. There's 12 of us in the room, and there's literally a mine inside
Oh
of
my
the,
goodness.
like a massive mine that if it had gone off would have blown us all to bits. Like I would not be here. I'd be, if I'm here, I'm lucky if I had like 2 legs. And
Wow.
it, to our luck, wasn't connected properly and the wire wasn't in. But if the wire had been in, probably Hamas was on the other end pushing a button and hoping that we were getting blown to bits.
Fuck, that's crazy.
So, you know, we go from that to going down this huge boulevard, trying to get to the next building, cover fire all around, guns ablazing, tanks going off, air support, shooting nonstop all around. And I was like, I'm in a freaking movie right now. This is insane. This is war. Then we're stuck in this boulevard with bullets flying for 20, 30 minutes. And I'm like, the chances of Hamas popping out right now and shooting us is so high. And either I or my teammates may end up dying right now. And I just said Shema Israel and kept moving forward, and we ended up making it. Then the first building we go into, boom, tunnel inside with clearly lived, there was signs of life there. So like, okay, Hamas is here. We start going up through the entire house. Doors are closing. We're hearing random things. My fingers on the trigger the entire time, waiting, waiting, waiting for different doors to get pulled. Nothing happens. We throw a grenade in a different one. Fire happens. The building, we end up taking the fire down from the building, which would have literally been a building that catches fire and all goes down with, 50 IDF soldiers inside. We go in, we're starting to blow up doors because they're super heavy metal doors. We put a bunch of TNT on one of the floors, and half the building almost collapsed on us because it was just a mistake on our guy. That would have been a tragic error of like this whole building collapsing on us. And there were parts of the building and bricks that literally collapsed in on my teammates. And if it was a few more pounds of TNT, the whole thing would have probably gone down. So luckily for that, didn't happen. Again, you're looking at your life like, holy shit. And then we go up, we're about to live and continue in this building. And then that fire that we thought we put out had restarted. And next thing we know, we look outside the window and the entire floor above us, the entire floor is on fire and it's
Gee.
spewing flames. So now we have to go back down the building because it's like there's no stopping it at this point. It's not like an extinguisher. Go back down the building, evacuate the whole building, go back down the boulevard that we were shooting and guns ablazing and all that and tanks, go back down the boulevard that Hamas was in, go back to our old house, and the night ended.
Sheesh, man.
And
All in one day.
all in one day from 6 a.m. to probably like 8 p.m. was just
Man.
non-stop. My adrenaline was 1,000 out of 10. 1,000 out of 10. I thought Hamas was going to pop out. I thought my life was going to be on the line. I thought a building was going to burn down. I thought a mine was going to explode on me. I thought a sniper was going to hit me. RPG. There were so many different things going through my head. And Baruch Hashem, nothing happened. And our team, all made it and we're safe and fine.
I'm in. I'm in. And that brings me to the mindset, bro, because I think that in that story, a couple of things. One is the mindset to keep going, right? To go
Hmm.
through the fire and the terrorist tunnel and the mine and like all these types of things happening. And then what comes to my mind is that then you've got the world, right? A big portion of the world saying how horrible IDF soldiers are, the IDF soldiers are, and death to the IDF, and Israel is a
Yeah.
terrorist state.
Yeah.
And yet you come out and you're sitting here running ultra marathons, teaching health. How does it not fuck with you? Like, how does it not mess with your mind? And I'm a guy here, I've got 3 daughters, a beautiful wife, and work. And sometimes a deal goes south and I'm upset, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, no, man, like mine, shooting, fire, ultra marathons, let's keep moving forward. Like,
Yeah.
talk about the mindset and how that's so important for somebody and consistently keeping that healthy mental state. I'm going to say just one thing really quickly. I did a leadership seminar yesterday for teenagers,
Mm,
and I asked them to rank their mental health from 1 to 10, and they
mm,
ranked their spirituality and all that type of stuff. And these 15-year-old kids, honest, not a, I can't say not a problem in the world, but nothing like what you went through or, losing millions of dollars in a deal. They were giving threes and fours. And it was
wow. In
scary and
mental health?
sad, right? They haven't even gotten
Wow.
out into the real world yet.
Wow.
Kids with money,
Oh my
right?
God.
Kids with money, kids with nice houses, kids with good lives. What's, how do we keep our mental health just on point, man, sharp and disciplined so that we can be successful? And I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about
Yeah,
just waking up with joy and,
totally.
and moving forward.
Totally. Yeah, I think again, purpose connects to that a lot because making sure, and I don't want to harp on it too much because I already talked about a lot about it, but I think having and feeling fulfilled and purposeful in whatever you're doing, whether it's like with your family, whether it's having a side hobby, whether it's connecting yourself to work, in your marriage, whatever it is, finding purpose and finding constant steps forward. And I think that's part of joy is you have to appreciate the process and the journey because you're going to get to wherever it is and you're going to be like, I want more because we're ambitious, we're men, we want more, we want like, so you're gonna naturally have to enjoy the process of whatever you do. And if you don't, then you need to change whatever you're doing to enjoy it or find a way to enjoy that process. And I think social media has a huge problem, and that's probably why a lot of these people are,
Yeah.
these kids are depressed because they're looking at this perfect, ideal, whatever's happening in the world. And that's just not the case for most people. Everyone's going through struggles, but it doesn't seem like that. And they don't have these one-on-one interpersonal real relationships because they're always on their phones. And a lot of us are always on our phones. And we're looking at what's something that's not real life, just like porn is not real life. And you're going to look at your marriage and be like, wait, this isn't what, I'm seeing all the time. So we need to connect to the real world. And we're losing that with AI and with TikTok and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a big reason of why the kids are having bad or low mental health ratings. I think discipline, especially for men, makes us happy and connects us because discipline is going to help get you to your goals. You set these goals because you know it's going to help you get there. If you follow that process, you're going to eventually, maybe not in a month or 2 months, but a year or 2 years or 3 years, you're going to get closer to where you want to be. And that is naturally going to make us happy, that sign and signal of success. And I think that incorporating that as much as possible is good. Lastly, when you're working out and you're eating well, you're putting chemicals into your body that, and you're creating chemicals that literally produce joy,
Mm.
produce happiness, produce satisfaction. So the more you work out, you're going to feel better. And the way I connect a lot of my ultra marathons to discipline and to keep it going is I have a bigger purpose, right? When I'm running 100 miles straight in the mountains or 251 miles to be exact for the
Crazy.
most recent one,
Yeah.
I did the Moab 240. I added 11 miles before the race start because I wanted the exact mileage to be 251. There were 251 hostages taken on October 7th. I wanted to run 1 mile for each hostage. I
Mm.
did in 4 days with basically zero sleep. I had a torn hamstring for the last 50 miles of it, not knowing, and was in excruciating pain. What got me through those 251 miles was, to a degree, God is just like pushing you through and gives you that energy and gives you the reason and purpose. But really, it's I had a why. I had a big purpose. I knew that the hostages were going through more. I knew that they were going through much harder things. So I am I can't stop because they can't stop. So it gives me this higher purpose. It gives me this higher connection, no matter how miserable and difficult it is. So connecting anything you do with a high purpose is going to help you complete it 1000%.
You said a couple of things that really hit hard. You didn't even touch on, and I think this was beautiful, of like why mental health is necessary. How you talked about, you said discipline, right? Discipline is what keeps the mental health
100%.
there. You talked about health. You're a health coach, and so what you eat and your workout, and we talked about sleep in the pre-interview. And all these people talk about these like ethereal, mental health, and you're just like, no, do discipline. Let's go. Like,
100%.
do what you said you're gonna do it well, do it right, and
There's
that's gonna
nothing
keep
harder, but also more impressive than doing what you say you're going to do.
uh, integrity. Like I learned the word integrity is do what you say and do it on time,
100%. 100%.
right? And I think
100%. And
that,
that's what the army is.
yeah, and I think that what you said in the beginning of the interview was, that the door handle had to be clean or your backpack had to be put in the right way, or that at 1 minute, if it was 1.01, that's it, you're late back at it.
And
I
we
think
had to
that
do
we
that
give
so many
ourselves way
times.
too much leeway
Yep.
here.
100%.
And to the
100%.
men, I'll say something. I think that I know my wife sent me the reel of you, right?
Hmm.
One, because she probably thought you were handsome, and two, which is perfectly fine. And the other was like she wants me to have that discipline because with that discipline, she gets safety.
Mm,
And the safer a woman feels, the more intimate, the more real, the more open they can be, and the better mental health they have in the
mm.
marriage.
Wow. Yeah, I'm into that. I don't have much to say because I'm not married, but I mean, you know, I like to try to speak to personal experience. So, from similar like my conversations with clients who are married and have kids, that is 100% true and accurate. Like when I work with my clients, I'm not just working on nutrition and fitness and creating the perfect plan and sleep, but it's a full mindset change and analysis. And those are vessels to carry that out. And it's like, why didn't you hit your workout? All right, let's figure that out. Why didn't you do this? All right, let's figure that out. Do you realize your kids are seeing that? Do you realize this? Like, let's get this processed into your day-to-day life because you're going to feel better. You're going to look better. Your wife is going to see this consistency. She's going to feel that stability. Your kids are going to see it and feel it. And you're the man, you're the stable provider of the household. What you do and embody is going to carry out to everyone else.
Yeah, and like you said, I think it also creates psychological safety within. Um, I created this
Totally.
term in my leadership coaching, which was lack of consistency breeds insecurity. And if you're inconsistent in yourself,
100%. Love
right,
that.
like then you're insecure with yourself. Everybody else is insecure about you. And so in your health coaching, you've got 30-minute calls every single week to hold people accountable. And you're
Totally.
not just saying like, why didn't you work out? You're like, dude, let's tap into the mental state of why you're not getting it in. What are the
Totally.
excuses? Is that right?
Totally. Yeah, because everyone's got different lives. Everyone's got different problems. Everyone's got different everything. You can chat GPT a bunch of workouts this day and age, but we need to really dig in and figure out and have someone cut the bullshit because ChatGPT loves to be like weird, fakely nice to us and
Yes.
like give so like you
It's
need
because we
and then
say
when you
it's because we say please and thank you to it.
yeah,
That's
right, exactly, exactly. We don't want the AI bots to like come and attack us in 10 years when they rule the world.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like you want someone who's gonna just cut the bullshit and look at you like a man seriously and be like, hey, like you're lying to yourself. You can lie to me all you want, but you're lying to yourself, and that's way worse. And start processing that through and seeing how you can find solutions around your excuses and work together because it doesn't mean that they don't want to. They're just having these mental blocks. And that's the biggest thing that we need to work on as humans and as people and especially as men.
Do you ever get but you were in the IDF,
All the time.
right? Like you're a machine. You guys, were meant to do this or you were trained to do this.
Eli, you're
And I'm just
different.
a
You run
normal
100
guy.
milers. You're an
What?
army. It's like, Eli, you're different. You run 100 milers and you think it's easy, or you were in the IDF. It's like people say that to David Goggins all the time. I got
Yeah.
into these 100 and 200 milers because I'm one of the guys that read Can't Hurt Me and,
Yeah.
went down the rabbit hole. But if you know, I wasn't born with this ability to run 100 milers. I wasn't born with this discipline. My whole family, except for me, shows up 30 minutes late to anything you invite them to. But yeah, the army did help me with arriving on time, but you create these systems and you look at yourself and you're like, this is the person I want to be. Don't expect to run a 100 miler tomorrow or a marathon tomorrow, but find a goal, create a realistic path to get there, and be consistent about hitting it every single day. And when you come up with the excuse and have a good reason for why, and when you come up with excuses on why you can't, always go back to that North Star of why you want to and why you have to. And that's going to be stronger than the little bullshit, I'm tired, or I don't have time for this, or I don't have time for that. And sometimes meetings do come up, or fire drills and emergencies in life do come up. But always try to go back to that North Star and that priority. Can you push that thing? Because you know you want to have this goal. And I don't mean a marathon, whatever it could be in life. You know, because if a huge fire drill at work happens, maybe marathon training doesn't happen that morning and it happens later on. But finding that consistency. And life hits us at 8 in the morning, generally 7 in the morning. Get up before then. Like, get up before then. Get up at 5. Yeah, it's hard, but like get up at 5. Maybe, you have to be with your wife until 11 and you want to get 8 hours of sleep. I totally get that. But it all depends. Is your health your priority right now and getting the sleep? Or is it accomplishing certain goals? I'm not the health coach. It's like you have to only sleep 8 to 9 hours. We strive for that and we're going to adjust lifestyles around it so we can try to hit that. But if you have certain goals, fucking hit those goals and get up earlier if you need to. And, sleep's going to come. I know it's not the health standard way of looking at it, but it's also the military standard, and that's where you get that, combined
So I want to
aspect.
say something, and it's with respect, and it's from everything that you've said so far. I don't think that you are a health coach per se. I think
Hmm.
that's the result. I think what you're doing is that you're building disciplined men. And
So
with
funny. I was on a date last night, and she said the same thing.
really,
So
hopefully it was a
funny.
good date. She
It was a
sounds
great date,
smart.
actually. Yeah, it's a great date. It was really
And
good.
and I think that like it's why, on our Instagram, um, as men, we follow David Goggins and Jocko Willink
Oh
and
yeah,
IDF soldiers because we strive to be like everything within us is to want to have the discipline and be
we're
disciplined
warriors.
because one, we want to feel good about ourselves in the discipline. Two, we want our wives and our the people around us to look at us and be like, dude, you're a badass. Like my brother started to work out really, really hard. And my brother's a big dude. Like he's
Hmm.
not fat. He's like taller than I'm, just yoked,
But
right?
yeah,
And now that he started working out, dude, he's like everyone's just like, "Bro, Morris, you're doing it, Morris, Morris, Morris,
yeah,
wow, wow,
yeah.
wow,
Oh
right?"
yeah,
And he's loving it.
and
He's
that
like, I don't
feeds
do
it
it.
more.
Yeah, and he's like, I'm not doing it for that. He goes, I do it because I love it. So what I'm saying is, for those of you listening, it's not just about getting healthy with Eli. It's about becoming more disciplined. And I think
100%.
that helps in everything above and beyond fitness, nutrition, and sleep.
Totally,
Discipline helps us in financial success, marital
totally,
success, relational success, fatherhood, everything else.
totally. 1000%. I mean, I don't need to say anything. You nailed it.
I did the sales pitch.
Yeah, you did the sales pitch 100%. Like that's what it is. And
Yeah.
I think everyone has these fitness goals and once especially guys 30 to 45 once they have kids or they've kind of they're far along in their career and they put career way ahead of health and it went way down the ladder that they got fat, they got this. And that came with lost confidence, it came with lost discipline and other things. But when you can focus on your health and use that as a vessel, because it's also your body is a vessel of God. So it's respecting yourself, it's respecting God. It's going to carry out in the rest of your life. People who go to the gym every day, they're generally working out in the morning or waking up earlier. They're doing something consistent. They're feeling good about themselves. They're looking better. They're going to be more confident. They're going to, be better at work. And it's creating a disciplined mind, body, human being. And whether I'm, working with a 30-year-old kid or young man or 50-year-old dad with kids, they all have those same issues and same desires.
Love that. So, Eli, first of all, thank you so much for being on the show. If
Thank
you're a
you. This
man
was
who's
great.
listening to this and you're like, I need more discipline in my life, I need to get healthier. I want to cut the bullshit. I'm done having the flab. I'm done taking off my shirt, looking in the mirror, and just not being happy with what I see or not sleeping well.
100%.
And what you were telling me also that I think is super important is that you don't just give everybody the same routine. Like you do
Hmm.
DEXA scans, blood work,
Oh yeah,
wearables. I'm a big
totally.
Whoop guy,
Oh
and
yeah.
so you're measuring everything that people are doing. So that when you do hold them accountable, you're looking at the stats as opposed to just the hopefuls.
Yeah, if you're not measuring, you're guessing. And we're trying
Yeah.
to optimize every single part of their life, both in the discipline side, but also scientifically and show it and be like, hey, your heart rate variability just went up significantly, right? Which is what you want. Your resting heart rate went down. We can track it. So even if sometimes, even when, let's say you were trying to maintain stable weight and just change the muscle mass and muscle, the body fat composition, you're also seeing all these other health factors increase and lower, and that all has signs to longevity, to living longer, to feeling better. So we can be like, hey, I feel better, I feel more confident, I feel stronger, but also the tests are showing it.
Awesome. Love that. Eli, how can people find you if they want to work with you? First of all, follow your Instagram page if you can tell everybody your handle. And if you start following Eli, your wife might start following him as well. So just
Totally,
be ready for that. So what's your
totally.
Instagram handle, bro?
Yeah, Instagram handle is Eli, Eli Winning, like you're winning a race. So at Eli Winning. It's also on TikTok if anyone's on there. And I'm not as active, but I'm more active on Instagram. And for website, you can sign up on a call either directly through my profile, my bio on Instagram, or conciergehealthco.com.
Got it. We'll put those links in the show notes so people can click on that. Eli, first of all, thank you so much for your service, brother. Thank you for being here
My
today,
honor.
sharing your wisdom, your valor, your discipline. And as I tell everybody, may you continue to be blessed with chazak v'matz, strength and courage.
Amen,
And
amen.
thank you for in a world that's filled with hate. I'm not gonna say the world. There's a lot of hate against the IDF and the state of Israel and Jews, and for still showing up and saying "fuck you all," I'm still gonna
100%.
do this.
100%.
And coming from being a lone soldier, really, brother,
100%.
honored.
Yeah. I just want the going away thing on me is beyond health, beyond discipline, beyond all that, as Jewish listeners, be proud to be Jewish, be proud to be pro-Israel. I know that everything I did inside Gaza was of the utmost highest moral standards. And that's why I'm so proud to be Jewish and so proud to be Israeli and so proud to be an IDF soldier. And I want every single Jew to feel that, to carry it out, to live it every single day and be an exemplary Jew in whatever they do in life.
Amen, v'amen. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned for the next episode of Tribesmen. Check out Eli. If you are wanting to get healthier, reach out to him. Watch his reels. He knows what he's doing. And thanks again for being here, man.
Thank you.